Hey there, home chefs. It's that time of the year where the cooking can get quite intense for us home chefs. You've probably gone big for the holiday meal, maybe experimented with something complex. So what we really need is something delicious that can be left alone to do its thing, doesn't need to be concerned about timing and overcooking, but still satisfies our cooking and eating needs. Well, I've got the perfect thing for it with a fantastic glazed ham combined with a British classic in bubble and squeak to get you through the post-Christmas period stress-free. Let's get cooking. Let's start with the ham, as this will take up the most time. Don't worry though, it's easy cooking to have on in the background throughout the whole day and then ready to use up over the next few days. You want a nice big piece of gammon or ham with a good rind like so, preferably wrapped up in some butcher's twines if you can find it. Then the biggest hurdle is going to be finding a pot big enough to house this beast. Not quite. Definitely not. Better. That's the ticket. If you don't have a large enough pot, you can cut the piece into two. The only thing that really changes is you would cook everything for about 30 minutes less. So the first step is actually a handy trick. We want to get rid of all the impurities out the ham, so it doesn't scum up our broth that we're going to be boiling it in. So simply fill your pot up with the ham and cold water until the ham is basically completely submerged. A tiny bit at the top is okay. Then, put that on the hob and let that come up to a boil. You'll start to see a lot of this nasty foam forming, which is what we're trying to be rid of. Once it's boiling, off the heat, discard all that water, clean the ham up a bit, and then we can begin our actual cooking. Anything we throw in now is just going to help the flavour of the ham, so it's really easy and carefree. I've got an onion, which I just chunked, peel on and everything goes in. Some aromatics I have, like a couple of bay leaves and peppercorns. I'm running low on those. Ooh, I've got some carrots as well actually, so just chunk, peel on, chuck everything in. Then, same as before, pour on some cold water to cover the ham. Again, a tiny bit on top uncovered is fine, the residual steam will take care of that. Pop on the lid, bring it all to a boil and let simmer. Anything from like 1.5 kilograms to 2.5 kilograms needs about 2.5 hours. Less than that, do about 2 hours. And then just sit back, have a cup of tea, watch a Christmas movie, and let that simmer away. With that done, let's take out the ham. That broth it's been sitting in will work very nicely as a stock, by the way, so be sure to strain that and store for another day. With the ham, let it settle for a few minutes to cool down, as at this point you want to remove the rind, but it is very hot straight out of the water. This should just peel off quite easily and leave a small layer of fat, which be sure to leave that on. If you can try removing it in one piece, this rind is not going to go to waste, not by any means. Flatten it out and stick it in a 200-degree oven for 15-20 minutes and you'll have the best snack ever to be invented, pork crackling. So good. But back to the ham. We are ready to glaze it up to give it that wonderful crispiness and sweetness that complements the pork so well. You want to score the fat in a diamond pattern to help the fat render and the glaze work its way to the meat. At this point you could, for mostly style points and a bit of aroma, stick a clove into each diamond, but that's just far too much effort for me and my Christmas movie is currently paused, so
ain't nobody got time for that.
For the glaze, you can be as creative as you want really. The main thing is that it has enough sugar content to reduce and caramelize nicely. I'm adding a few tablespoons of golden syrup with some dark brown sugar to get a rich, deep colour and sweetness. You could also add a bit of mustard powder, or apricot jelly, or even orange zest to bring in some different flavours which all work really nicely, but I'm keeping it basic for mine. I put down the heat, and once that reaches boiling, immediately take it off the heat and pour over the ham. Try to get the entire top covered, and then it's ready to roast in a 180-degree oven for about 45 minutes. If you feel up to it, pouring more glaze on every 15 minutes is a great way to enhance the impact of the glaze, but again it's very optional, especially if you want to get back to your Christmas movie. But if you are so inclined to add something else, then a fantastic side to go with the ham, or just in general after a hectic Christmas meal, is bubble and squeak. Very typically British, it's a no-rules melange of your leftover veg and potatoes, usually from a roast, and they make great use of using up whatever didn't get eaten at Christmas. The only thing to really adhere to is that it needs to be at least half potato, as this is what binds it all together. The potatoes themselves can be in any form, whether it's mash, gratin, or boiled. In my case, I've gone very classic as I have leftover roast potatoes. And as for the rest, it's literally whatever veg is going, and you can even include leftover herbs. It all works. It all takes about 20 minutes and it's really simple. Start off with a wide pan and heat up some oil and butter together. If you have got some herb stragglers that need to be used up, then tie them up in a bundle and let that infuse into the fat. Give that a few minutes and then remove the bundle and put that to the side. Next in goes the potatoes, and you want to crush them if you're using roast ones to open up that fluffy interior. Once they've all opened up, chuck in the veg and get everything well combined. Next, bring in a masher and get everything really well pressed down, making great contact with the pan. What we're going for here is a bit like a Spanish tortilla. It's all going to hold together by the potato like one big tortilla. Let a crust start to form for a few minutes, and then bring everything in so the texture gets all mixed in together. You may even hear at this point the signature sound that gives this dish its name as the cold air and moisture escapes. Repeat that a couple of times and you'll start to see the whole thing shrink as the potatoes combine. Then you can just let it fry on one side for about 5, maybe 10 minutes, basically until it's solid enough to hold its shape. Then grab a wide surface like a chopping board, and we're going to invert the whole thing. Steady. And hey presto, we've got Bubble and Squeak. A triumph of convenience. It's a fat, savoury, healthy pancake which you can top with some eggs, a bit of pepper, and it will go perfectly with the glazed ham. Or even just grab yourself a slice, it's terrific on its own too. With the Bubble and Squeak sorted, it's time for the main event. Your ham should be perfectly roasted now with a nice deep glaze finish. No need to let this rest, just get it on your board and start carving. Beautiful. The long simmer and the sweet fat make this delicious, juicy meat, which you can eat a few slices straight away hot with the Bubble and Squeak, but its true power lies in the next day, when you don't have to do any more cooking, as when it's cold, this is one of the best sandwich fillings of all time. Add a bit of leftover Christmas cheese, some leftover Christmas cranberry sauce, and we're in heaven without any more stress. So, be sure to take it easy this holiday now the big day's out of the way, and treat yourself to leftovers done right. For the next time you're in the mood for stress-free cooking, make sure you subscribe to the channel to get notified of the next video. Until then, get cooking.